lead, going to the back chute. Tanner Holmes grabs the lead down the back chute, slide up in front of Macedo. Macedo drives it in hard. He'll go off the backside, backs it hard into the wall.
Okay, it's 8:12 in the morning, Saturday, May 4th. About 12 hours ago, we were down in Hanford, California, and we got our first win of 2024 in an absolute nail biter. Matt drove through the night. You guys know the story there. He's a complete animal, and we just pulled into the shop. Last night was super exciting. It was awesome, such a thrill. Felt really good for myself to kind of get that monkey off the back and get our first win of the season. And now the work for our next win begins. It never stops. So we're pulling into the shop. We got to start getting everything unloaded. We got some cleaning up to do after our Midwest trip, but the good news is we're back home. We got a win, and our season now should be, you know, underway well.
Not a bad heat race tire. You can take that.
So now the fun part, as we're unloading the trailer, we need to take care of the upstairs, bring a bunch of stuff down. We gotta get these wings out of the way. Trying to get a good head start on the week and just kind of, like I said, get it. I thought the wing was falling. Trying to get everything turned around because it's not like we just went racing for a day, even though we just came from Hanford in one night, but we just came from 6 weeks of chaos and traveling thousands of miles, and we actually, I feel like, did a pretty good job keeping things together considering some of the adversity we had to face. But now it's time to like get everything fully checked back here at home, see what we got, and start trying to build back our inventory and some spots on some of our spare equipment. Wow! Almost smoked ya. Wow!
Hold up. Okay. Let me grab my one.
So this is the frame that we started the season with that we got in that crash. You can see the front rack, it's gonna need some love, but got it down so we can take it to get fixed. This box right here, guys, is just a bunch of wrecked crap. Not good.
Got another box for you. We should slide it more towards the middle.
Yeah, we can.
But we can put the rear end next to it at least.
The reason this thing's a little heavier, so we still got the steering box in it, a couple other things, of course the seat, that don't help. So it feels really good to have all of our equipment back home and in the race shop, and kind of now have it all spread out where we can work on our primary car and start working on getting our equipment built back up with our spares. Actually, while we were gone in the Midwest, we had 2 frame and bodies show up here to the shop. So we are in the process of getting both of these together. This car will be going upstairs soon, and then this car will be a complete one sitting in the shop. And for the second half of this video, I wanted to answer some of the questions that you guys sent in to ask me about, you know, the start of our season, 2024, and, you know, what everything is going to look like in the future. So I think it was no secret that things did not go picture perfect, you know, to start our 2024, heading out to the Midwest in March, which is the earliest we've ever went out that way. Between some of the stuff that happened on track and weather, whether that was rain or wind, or the facilities or the tough racetracks that we went to, just all factors combined, it was a challenge. But we also knew what we were signing up for ahead of time. I mean, like, we're not idiots. I mean, we've raced with Outlaws, we've raced with High Limit. It's really, really hard. It's the best guys in the world. So to kind of grade our performance in like the first 10-ish races we ran, I would give us a B-. And now a lot of that grade falls on the last 2 races we ran, which was that 360 show at Hanford, which we won, and then that final night at Salina where we were just outside the top 10. And when I'm talking our grade, I'm not really just necessarily going off of our results. I mean, obviously results play a big factor into that, but there's so much that happens behind the scenes as we're building as a team, working on our new package, you know, going to different racetracks with these cars. Like I said, it's easy to just kind of get, you know, that far off, and then as you're trying to play catch up at the level that we're at, and even for the guys that run the full-timers in the series, you know, you see it happen with them as well. It just kind of comes and goes in waves. But for us, what was so important to me was the speed we had like the last 3 or 4 times I've been in the car, you know, and even some of that, I know it wasn't a race night, but like we practiced at Knoxville and we were really, really good. So like there was some positives to the end of our trip, and it really sucks that we didn't get to race a little more because of the rainouts and whatnot. But man, we really, I feel like we're you know, starting to find our stride, and that's why I'm really pumped to get into May now back at home, and then June, and then head back out in early July. As much as, you know, I'm excited for the racing out here, I wish I could still be out there. So the end of that question kind of led me into this one, but I absolutely want to move to the Midwest and move my race team out there almost as soon as possible. And I really do mean that. I mean, we're kind of in that process of wanting to explore options to do that in the future. I mean, it's a very difficult thing to do, and I don't know if it'd be something forever. Like once you move away from Oregon, I would never move back. I don't know that. I think you kind of just see where life takes you. But gosh, I do like it back there. It seems like there'd be some great places to live. Obviously, the racing is much better than what we have out here, and everything's a little bit closer. I mean, you can travel, you know, a couple hours in every direction and really hit a lot of tracks. And then, you know, if you're in the right location, you maybe only have to travel up to 7 to 10 hours to go just about anywhere to race, which would be really, really nice and exactly what we need. It would give us plenty of options to race 410s every single weekend with any series we want. You know, we could run some more regional / local stuff, but you could also, you know, still run with the Outlaws and High Limit a bunch and really mix a pretty big schedule together. And I think that's kind of a real possibility for our family team. It's something that we're gonna have to work really hard to make happen, and like I said, there's a lot of hoops to jump through. But if you want my honest opinion, I think if you even ask most of my family, like they would not mind, you know, being out that way. Now, of course, that's a difficult thing to do, but all we can do is keep working at it and see how the things fall into place. I think this is probably my favorite question that I get to answer here because it's so funny. You know, I feel like from afar, sprint car racing and what we do, it looks amazing. And don't get me wrong, I'm so grateful that I get to do it, and it is amazing. I mean, look at these cars here sitting behind me. Driving one of these is like being strapped to a rocket. You got 900 horsepower. You can lift the front tires off the ground like that. Being at a sprint car race, watching sprint cars, working on them, like all of it is incredible. But I think that unless you've went out and done it, it's really hard to kind of see what it's like behind the curtain. Even my videos, I really try to do my best, but there's so much to life on the road that you don't get to see. And I think we're all glad that we get to do it. It's great, but it's probably one of those things. I'm trying to think of the wording, the best kind of way to say it. It's the current lifestyle that you're in, and it serves its purpose probably for that time, however long that is. But I don't think anyone ever says, I want to live on the road for the rest of my life. It's the best thing ever. Like, being on the road is more about like the car washes at 1, 2, 3 a.m. after you just drove a couple hours to get to that next track. Being on the road is when you're having some tough nights and you crash a car and you got to get your spare car down and you have a yard sale outside your trailer. One of my favorite people, Kenny Wallace, he describes it like this.
It is a vagabond lifestyle. Those guys are in those toter homes. Yes, they're $1 million, $2 million, but those guys smell like ass. They're guys all piled in that damn thing. I've seen them, like, get me out of here. Okay, you think it's awesome, we'll go do it. And you won't do it because nobody hardly does do it. They get on the road for about 3 days in the middle of the summer and like, oh man, this was a blast, but I'm going back home.
And he's not wrong. Another thing is just trying to find a place to park in between races. You know, sometimes you're lucky enough to get to stay at someone's shop, which is huge. But I mean, there's nights that we're staying in a Walmart parking lot and you're just hoping that your rig doesn't get vandalized. It's earlier in the year, so we haven't really experienced it yet, but in the middle of July and August, it's hot, it's 100 degrees, it's humid as can be. I don't know, the list kind of goes on. I mean, there's just a lot of things about living life on the road. It's just not the same as, you know, living at home or living in a house or having a normal job. You don't have as much of a routine. Everything's kind of go, 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 but you also have downtime. I just, like, in any way possible, trying to paint the picture for you of why it's so difficult. But like I said, we also do choose it, and we love sprint car racing, and you know, we do it because we do love it, at least for the time being. But so yeah, life on the road is not exactly what you think, but I also do encourage, you know, to anybody watching, if you would like to try to give it a go, you absolutely should, especially if you're young. It's a great time to go and do it. You know, make decent money working on sprint cars. You really don't have that many responsibilities. You just got to usually get your stuff done and do your job on the race team, and then you do have some time off. Get a chance to kind of travel the country for free, see all sorts of beautiful racetracks, and you know, if you're on the right team, and definitely the top guys that got it going on, I mean, they're winning races, and it's definitely once you're there, it's even more fun because, like I said, you're running good, things are clicking. You know, it's a lot tougher for teams that are trying to build, like our family operation, where we're clawing to get every spot and kind of keep working our way closer to the top. But that's what I would say, life on the road. So with that being said, I would not trade what we do for anything, and I wouldn't have done it any other way than how we got to this point. Another Kenny Wallace quote, he says, "Racing is a disease," and he's not wrong. It's addicting what we do, and that's why we put literally so much into it. And for us, we're going to continue to chase more victories and try to get the 18T to the checkered flag first as many times as we can in 2024. We got bigger things ahead of us. We just got to keep working towards it. So we're back home for the next 7 to 8 weeks. We're going to be racing out here in the Pacific Northwest. We got some big money shows to chase, and I think a lot of opportunities, like I said, to be in contention and build up, so when we head back to the Midwest, we can run even more races, head towards Knoxville Nationals, Kings Royal, all that, and then try to really perform well out there on that big of a stage. And by then, you know, we'll be preparing all this time for that. So thank you guys. We will see you all in the next one. We're going racing this weekend at the Chico Silver Dollar Speedway in Antioch, so 360 and then 410. And like I said, 2 nights in California and a chance for us to get on track and continue rolling. See you there. Deuces.